What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Street Sheet. Welcome to a new season. No, I've been away for a while, but we are back. And our very first guest of this new season is a close friend of mine. Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thank you, first of all, for having me on the podcast. I'm Nick Arias. Uh, like you said, a really close friend of Joel's, host of the Ring Fanatics podcast that we both do. And yeah.
Yes, sir. So, basically, on this podcast, I want you to talk to me like I don't know you,
Okay.
so that everybody can get the feel like it's just a regular conversation. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not nothing that you know I'm going to ask you. It's just having a conversation with you.
Okay.
So we'll just start it off. Growing up, how was it growing up for you? Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Queens, New York. Basically lived in the same house my whole entire life. I have an older brother. Lived with both my parents my whole entire life. I grew up in this neighborhood, like I said before. Haven't moved anywhere. Basically went to public school, mainly Catholic school after elementary school. After middle school, sorry. After middle school, I went to basically a Catholic school, even St. Francis College, where I went to college, where we met. And that's where I grew up.
So while growing up, like as a kid, what was your dream job?
Oh,
What was something you always wanted to be?
to be honest, that I didn't really figure out until I got to college.
You not even
because
like as a kid that you were like, oh,
I
I
mean,
want to be like a police officer. I want to be.
yeah, I wouldn't lie and say I didn't think about that, but I did think of stuff like that. But those are just some things that a lot of kids say growing up.
No, of course.
Everyone wanted to be like. I had a whole bunch of things that I thought about that I wanted to do when I wanted to grow up. But of course, as time went on, things changed, and I didn't really. I thought of being like a firefighter, a cop, like everything that a lot of kids think of when they're younger. But and like nothing. I didn't really commit to any of those, obviously. But because it was as I grew older, I kind of started to realize like what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do, what I liked, what I didn't like. So it was kind of like I said, I kind of figured it out as I got older, what I wanted to do. Things changed. Um, but my main goal that I remember, I've always wanted to be an athlete. I remember I loved sports. I was like, oh, I'm going to be in the NBA or some league. I don't know. But I'm not athletic.
Oh, I feel you on that.
Yeah, I'm not athletic. Yeah.
I think everybody has that dream of being an athlete. Like there was so many years that like 1 year I was gonna be a baseball player. I was like, yeah, I'm going to MLB.
Yeah.
1 year I was gonna be a basketball player. 1 year I wanted to be a football player. Till I found out I was trash in every sport that I tried to play.
Me too, because when I got to middle school, I was like, all right, I'm playing a whole bunch of sports with my friends, my playground in school or something. And then I was like, we all talk about sports all the time. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be an athlete. That's what I think I'm gonna do. And then
it's cool when you're playing with your friends on the playground. Then you join a team, and then you're like, yeah, maybe this isn't for me.
Yeah, because like I also used to play soccer when I was a kid, and
soccer?
At that time, yeah,
damn, your stamina must have been crazy.
Yeah, not anymore though. I'll be honest with that, not anymore. But at that time, that was the sport I played the most, on team wise.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty dope. I was pretty good. I was pretty good. Not gonna lie. I remember playing goalie mostly, and
oh, nice.
Defense, but I was nice. I was nice.
Did you play in high school?
No,
or you stopped before
I wanted to play in high school, but then I stopped. I stopped pretty early, honestly. I started when I was like 5, and I stopped when I was like 10. So
okay.
It wasn't like my whole entire life. It was just a couple of years. But that was the sport I played the most.
Okay,
and
I feel you.
I wanted to play in high school, but then there was a lot of kids who were really, really good. Like they were like top. I wouldn't say league wise, but they were really, really good. Way better than me. So I felt like I wasn't gonna make it either way. So I kind of stopped. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it.
Nah, I feel you. And then in high school is when they start scouting. When they start scouting kids from, and then it's like you're walking on. Like I was a walk on for my football team. I was trash, but I was a walk on, and I was like, all right, cool. And everybody was like, oh yeah, they came to my games. Da da da. I was like, all right, cool. I'm just a walk on.
Yeah, because like a lot of kids in all my sports in my school. I went to Holy Cross High School in Queens. And
oh wow, okay.
A lot of people there have been playing sports like their whole entire lives. So like it's a different competition, not just like traveling teams, but like it's a competition just to get on the team. So I was like, shoot, what do I do? They're tough. They play tough. They're like really, really good. So I didn't know what to do. So I just didn't try out for anything.
Oh, okay,
I
okay. I
remember
feel you.
trying out. I remember trying out for basketball my freshman year, and dude, the kids in my school were talented. A lot of kids play basketball. A lot of kids are really good, and like I said, a lot of kids have been playing sports their whole entire lives. So it's
Yeah.
like I can't compete with that if I'm just starting to play all these sports now or recently. So it's kind of tough
No,
in that
yeah,
aspect.
that I feel you on that. Like when I got to high school, I tried out for the football team, but the football team was just so bad that they just let anybody play, and that's how I got on the team.
But
And
I was going to try out for my football team at my school.
you decided not to.
Nah, I was like, cause no, it was I wanted to, but then like this is a story. So I I'd never played football in my life before that. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it just for fun. Who cares? You know, it's freshman team. Not all, they don't. I'm assuming they don't do playoffs in freshman year. So I was like, it's just gonna be for fun. I wasn't gonna do it seriously. So I met with the coach at my school, and he told me like all the information. Like when I was in eighth grade, he told me all the information. Like, oh, this is the tryouts. This is what you to do. This is me to go, stuff like that. And then, um, he didn't tell me like he said he was going to email me when the tryouts were and when they were going to happen and where they were going
Okay.
to happen. So as I was waiting for an email, I never got the email. So I didn't know when it was happening. And then I had a friend who I graduated high school with who I knew beforehand. He messaged me. It was like, oh, why weren't you at the tryouts today? I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, oh, the tryouts were today. I'm like, oh, shoot. So then I couldn't make it because I was on vacation at that time. So I
Oh, okay.
couldn't drop everything and be like, oh, I got to go. So I kind of like I couldn't do it. So I was like, shoot, what do I do? And then I couldn't do it. And then I thought that was the only tryouts they had. So then apparently, like a couple days go by, school starts, and then all of a sudden, there's a kid who I had met who also wanted to do football, and he told me that he had just tried out. So I'm like, what do you mean you just tried out? You tried out like a few weeks ago. And he told me, oh, they had second round tryouts for people who wanted to join late. So I'm like, oh fuck. Like
Yeah.
there were two tryouts that I
Damn.
missed both of them. So I'm like, I couldn't do it. And then like I was wanted to do JV my sophomore year, but then they took it mad serious. Like, they had workouts, they had like training
Yeah.
sessions. And I'm like, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. I'd never played
Yeah.
football. So I'm like, no, I don't forget it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. It's mad tough now. Can't do it. Like at that time, I was like the least athletic person in the world. Like I did not play anything. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it anymore.
So you say you went to Holy Cross.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
Um, I liked it. It was a really fun school, really fun 4 years. Originally I wanted to go to St. Francis Prep, which is really really close to my house compared to Cross. Cross is like 10 minutes away from my house. Prep is like less than 5 minutes. I live
Oh,
like
okay.
down the block from Prep, so I wanted to go there. Um, I got put on the quote unquote waiting list,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
meaning I didn't get in.
They told you to
So
hold the L.
yeah,
They said
that's
sorry about that.
literally what they said, what that means. But so I kind of had to narrow it down to two other schools that I applied for, which was Holy Cross and St. Mary's. St. Mary, I don't even know why I applied to St. Mary's. St. Mary's is like a half hour away from my house.
Was it
It
the
was
one
not.
that you just put as number 3? You were just like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
number 3 usually is like, whatever.
Because the St. Mary's was and Holy Cross and Prep were the only three schools I visited.
Okay.
So I just put those three down, and I got accepted to both St. Mary's and Cross. So I kind of had to narrow it down to those two, and then
Yeah.
I just chose Holy Cross because it's like 10 minutes away from my
Yeah,
house.
10 minutes, half an hour.
Yeah,
It kind of
that's a big
wins.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, might as well go there. So I went there, and I don't regret going there either because Prep is like my number one school that I wanted to go to. That was really because my brother went there, and both my cousins graduated there. Basically,
Okay.
my whole family, like my other cousins, I had like three cousins who went there, and my brother went there. So I was like, oh, that'd be cool if I went there too. But I got put on the waiting list, like I said, and then I had to go to Holy Cross, basically right there.
As long as it worked out for the best, right?
Yeah, it worked out. Like I don't regret going there. You know, it's like it was
Yeah.
a great school. Anyways, met a lot of kids there. Met a lot of friends I talk to still today, and it was a good opportunity. And like I said, it was the best option I would have chosen anyway. So it worked out for the best. It worked out for the best of that one.
That's dope. What about picking a college? How did that go? Was St.
Ooh,
Francis like a top school?
it wasn't. This is actually a funny story. I'm gonna tell you the whole story. It's a long story.
Tell me the
um,
story, man.
So from like the beginning of my junior year of high school, to like midway through my senior year, I always wanted the dorm. I wanted to go away and dorm. I wanted that dorm experience.
Yeah.
So I mainly looked at schools that I would potentially have seen myself dorming at. So I applied. I basically most of the schools that I applied to were dorming schools that I looked at, and um, and there was this one school, St. Thomas Aquinas College, which is like an hour away from my house, is towards upstate. It's not in
Exactly what
upstate.
school you're talking about.
It's a really small school, kind of small, the same amount of kids as St. Francis, if not smaller. It was a really small school. I loved it. The campus was nice. Not it was not in like in a open area. It's kind of like an enclosed area. The campus is like really far away from the nearest neighborhood, so it was kind of like a closed college, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not like open like St. Francis, like in the middle of a neighborhood. It's kind of like
In
far
the
away from
middle of a
that.
neighborhood.
So it's like I wanted to go there. That was like my dream school. That was the school I wanted to go to the most. And then um, towards the middle of my senior year of high school, I kind of changed my mind. I didn't want to dorm anymore. I wanted to stay home. I wanted to commute. I don't know why. I just changed my mind. I was like, I'm not doing it anymore.
What was the change of mindset?
I don't know. I was like, it was a feeling that I had. I was like, I'm not going away. I want to stay home. I love home. I can't be away from home. So I just kind of decided, like, you know what, I'm staying home. I can't leave home at the moment.
Okay, I
It's
feel you. I feel you.
it was that feeling that I had, and then um, so I kind of like narrowed it down to only the schools that I applied to that were local to my house that I could have commuted to. So I the only three I applied to a few schools that I could have commuted to, but I kind of narrowed it down to only three that I applied to, which were Queens College, St. John's, and Queensborough Community College.
Okay.
And between those, because those are the three schools that I ended up seeing myself going to. Any other school, I was like, nah, I'm not going there. So I kind of, like I said, I narrowed it down to those two schools. And between those three schools, the only school that accepted me was Queensborough Community College. So I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'll go here. I don't. It doesn't bother me at all. Because sometimes some people, community college is not. They don't like going to community college.
Yeah, because they feel like it has that like stamp on them that they go to community college, but it's
Yeah.
like it's
To me,
college
yeah,
still.
yeah,
You're
it's
still getting a
college.
degree.
Exactly. So it didn't bother me at first. I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'll go there for 2 years and then transfer out to a 4 year program. St. Francis was never on my list. Like it was never on my radar. The only reason why I found St. Francis College was because remember the Common app where you have to apply to like 10 schools, and then
Yeah.
so I remember the when I was filling out my mom, we only filled out 9 schools because out of the whole list that it gave us of schools, we only visited like nine of them. So we were like, okay, let's find one more school because we only have 9. Just put one more in just in case, like if they ended up accepting me. So we were looking through the list. The first school we found was St. Francis College. It didn't say. I've never seen the school before. I've never heard of it before. I was like, okay, all I know is that it's called St. Francis College and it's in New York. So I didn't know anything. I didn't know shit about the school. Like I said, I never visited. I didn't know where in New York it was. All I knew about the school was the name and the location. It was in New York. So I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm putting this school down. Probably not going to go there anyways. It was just a
Yeah.
filler school for the list. And then a few months go by after the Common App. I basically committed to Queensborough. I was going to go there originally, and then it was literally a last minute call for St. Francis College. Like literally, it was literally the last week of my senior year of high school where I got the acceptance letter from
Oh
St. Francis
wow.
College. Because I remember getting home, I looked at the mail and I see St. Francis College on top. I was like, oh, it's probably a like a general based letter. I don't know. But then I looked on the letter, it said my name on it. So I'm like, oh shoot, it's to me. So then I opened it up, I read it, it was an acceptance letter. So I was like, oh shoot, it's cool. I showed my parents, read the letter, I did my research on the school, and I found that it was a really generous scholarship. So I'm like, oh, this is dope. I think I should look into the school more. So later on that week, I think it was that weekend, we visited the school in person. And immediately, as soon as we got there, without even going inside, because you know the area, obviously, you've been there
Yeah.
too. The area, the location was just immediately got me. I was like, you know what? I'm going here. This is the place. Because like this, the view of the whole entire neighborhood was like amazing. And I was like, I couldn't say no to this. So then as soon as we went inside, I knew it was the right fit. I just knew it was the right fit because it's a really small school. You know, it's like 2,500 kids maybe. I think it's like a high school.
Yeah. The
It's like a
small
kind of
college
like
of
a
big dreams, man.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So as soon as I I got a private tour of the school, and I just loved it. So I kind of, recommitted, committed to St. Francis, decommitted from Queensboro, and kind of that was it from there. I just it was a literally a last minute decision. It was like last week of college when I made my decision for that. So it was really like I didn't like I said, like when I originally applied for during the Common App, I didn't even think about going there. I didn't even know I was going to end up going there.
Yeah, you just
And
put it
then
in just to fill it
yeah,
out.
exactly. And then I ended up going there, and it's I don't regret going there at all. I don't regret going there.
That's insane that you waited till like the last week.
Yeah, no, they sent it to me the last week, so I was like,
Yeah,
oh
that's
shoot,
like
yeah,
weird
yeah,
too. Like
yeah. I didn't think that college would do that. I didn't think that was a thing for colleges to do last minute, but they did it.
St. Francis is unpredictable.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
So going into college, did you know what your major was gonna be?
I had a major. I switched. It wasn't communication arts to begin with.
So what was your major?
Accounting. Yeah, I'll
Why?
tell you the reason. Okay, so during my junior year, also, I was thinking about like what I could have potentially be doing in college in terms of majors.
Yeah.
So I was thinking of like my strengths, like what I was good at, and what I could have, um, what one of my strengths are, so I could do in the future. I was really good at math in high school. Math was like my top subject. I got like 90s and
Okay.
above. I was really good at math. So I was like, what majors are math related, stuff like that. So I was talking to my parents. They brought up accounting because they said counting money, stuff like that. Because my mom is a finance, well, she majored in finance.
Oh, okay,
And my
okay.
brother is also a finance major. So they're all the business.
It
And
runs in the
so
family.
yeah,
It runs in the family.
so she brought up accounting, like you count money, stuff like that, whatever the description was for the major. So she brought that up, and I was like, all right, I'll think about it. That could possibly be something I could do. And then senior year of high school, my high school offered an accounting elective as an elective for a class. So I was like, let me take this first, and then maybe if I like it, I can officially declare it as my major.
Yeah, you
If
got
not,
like a
I could.
feel out for it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And um, I took that as my senior year of high school. Um, it was weird because the teacher who taught the class only taught it for like 2 or 3 months of the year, and then he left, not the school, but he left the class because he got a new position in the school. He became the
Oh,
dean.
like he got
So
promoted.
yeah, yeah. So
Oh, okay, okay.
he didn't teach the class anymore. So then I he from the time that he taught it, he taught, I would guess you could call it the basics. I don't know if you would call it the basics, but it was like what you need to know before you get further into the subject. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it was like accounting 101, accounting the easiest stuff before the very first thing you learn, and then you go further into the subject. And then that's all he taught us before he left. So from all that I learned from the time he was there, I thought it was really, really easy. It was the easiest thing I've ever learned. So I was like, okay, bet this is
You're
easy.
like, this is it. This is what
Yeah,
I'm
this is
doing. This
it.
is what I'm
Yeah, this is
doing.
what I'm doing. So I was like, I thought it was gonna get easier as time went on too. So I was like, okay, I'm planning this as my major. So that's when I did. Then when I started college, I because high school is different from college. How like
Wait, time out. You went in with a major declared?
yeah,
That's lit. That's lit.
yeah.
Okay.
So how college is like everything is by semester, so everything goes by quickly in terms of
Yeah.
classes compared to high school is the whole entire year, so they go slowly. So by like the first week, we learned what I learned in the first 2 months, practically. So as time went on, week by week, it started getting harder for me in college because like I was like I did not learn this yet in high school.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be easy. It got harder and harder, and I tried getting help too. I got help from the professor, I got help from tutors, and even classmates. I was like, "Do you not understand what they're talking about? I don't understand what they're talking about. Like, I don't get it." So I got a lot of help from, like I said, the tutors, classmates, even the professor himself. And every time I got help, I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I don't know. I don't understand any of this." And it was
He's
like
speaking
stressing
another
me. Yeah,
language to me.
exactly. They're like speaking another language to me. Like, I don't understand this. And this is accounting 101 too. That I don't understand. That should be the easiest class of
Yeah,
them
it
all.
should just be like just getting your feet wet. Like, okay, this is what
Yeah,
accounting is.
yeah,
Not
exactly.
just throwing me in there.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it was like you said, they were speaking another language. I don't know what they were talking about. So I was thinking about it. I told my parents, like, "Yo, I don't understand any of this. I don't get it." And then my mom was telling me, like, how you just withdraw the class, take it next semester. If anything, we can get you a tutor, private tutor, whatever. But then I
You
was thinking about,
you were trying to see, yeah, withdrawing, but I ain't taking it next semester.
yeah,
That's it.
because I
That's
was
it for
thinking,
me.
because I was thinking about, like, if I would have took it the following semester, what if I didn't do well? Like, what if I failed it? I had to take it again my sophomore year, failed it again, or withdraw from it again. I was
Yeah,
thinking, like, how long would have been taking? How long do I have to take to pass the first accounting class?
yeah,
So I was like, that's gonna take me mad long. I don't want to waste a lot of this money just for one class. And like, you know what? I had to decide right there. Like, do I? I was thinking to myself too, like, did I really choose this major based off of it being easy, or did I choose this major because being an accountant was what I wanted to do? So I thought that to myself for a little bit, and I realized, like, I didn't really want to be an accountant to begin with. I really didn't. So I kind of decided right there, like towards the end of my first semester of college, I decided to change my major. And the reason why I chose communication arts was because before even, like, in the beginning of the semester, before I even thought about changing my major, I joined the Terrier Sports Network, which is
okay.
like the CNN, like the TBS, where they broadcast all of our sports home games for St. Francis. So I joined that because it revolved around sports. I was like, you know what, I want to do something. I want to start off college joining a club or something. So I joined that first because, like I said, it revolved around sports. So I was like, bet I'm gonna do this. I didn't know exactly what they did at first, but um, I just wanted to get more into it and know more about what they do. So I joined. I joined that. I actually loved it. I loved everything that they did. So that was like my first major I thought of when I was switching. And at that time, I met Matty P, Matt Panico, Matt Faniza,
The goats.
Matt, and then Luis Velez, who they were all students
Okay.
at the time as well. They were all communication arts majors. So they were telling me, like, oh, they're communication arts majors, what they want to do, careers. And then I thought about it. I researched it on the St. Francis College website on what the major entails, what classes they take, and stuff like that. I was like, I may want to do this actually. This might be my major when I switch. Because with St. Francis, when you switch majors, you can't go from, I don't know why. I don't know if it's all colleges or just this one, but when you switch majors, you can't go from a declared major to undeclared. You have to switch to another major immediately. You can't go from,
Yes. Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
was
I
really
learned that
stupid.
too. I learned that too. I didn't know you had to like. I didn't know you can't go to undeclared. I thought you had to.
Yeah,
Like, I didn't know you had to pick something.
exactly. Like, I didn't know that either. So I had to choose it right then and there. So I'm like, all right, let me just do communication arts, see how it goes the first semester. If anything, I could change it again.
Wait, so how
Not a
long
big
did it
deal.
take for you to change your communications?
It was at the end of my first semester.
Oh, so you just changed right away. You
Yeah,
say, yeah,
yeah.
that's it. That's
Because
it.
the more research I did about it, I was like, you know what, I think this might be it. So I just immediately changed it right then and there at my first semester. And
Okay.
then
Were you open
my
concentration or
I was
focus?
digital
Okay.
media.
Yeah.
'Cause that kind of was what I wanted to focus on instead of advertising. And I forgot what the other one was, but
Yeah,
there were three.
I thought so too. I was digital media till I saw that acting class. And I said, "Yo, how do I get out of this?" She said, "You can do open concentration, but that comes with this." I was like, "Do I have to take the acting?" She said, "No." I said, "Put me open." Like,
I
that's why.
I schemed the acting class. I'll explain it later when we go into it. But I didn't take the acting class either. I took something similar, but not the acting ones that you're talking about. But yeah, I took.
Well, you
So
did
then
script writing or something.
it was called oral communications, which is like,
Oh,
It feels
yeah,
like it's not exact. It's easier than acting, so it was better. It was kind of like a replacement of acting. You know,
yeah.
it's easier. So like because after I took that class, our advisor Lauren at the time said like, "Oh, you don't have to take acting now because you took oral communications." So I'm like, "All right, bet
Oh,
easy."
that's dope. That's dope.
So I never took acting after that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
acting wasn't it. Acting
yeah,
wasn't it.
yeah,
That wasn't the wave.
yeah. I mean, it was not the wave at all. So yeah, so my second semester of freshman year is when I started taking. I took the only communication class I took was a speech class that time. And then that same semester is when I found out about SFC radio. That's when I joined. And then, because I remember seeing flyers, I'm like, oh, shoot, there's a radio station here? Because prior to switching majors, when I started college, I didn't know there was a Terrier TV as well, or radio, because I didn't really look into those clubs when I
Yeah.
started. Because like I said, I was an accounting major, so I didn't look at anything else but accounting. Um, so I kind of, um, so as I found out about SFC radio first, and then basically it was when my sophomore year started, because the radio station is the same floor, really down the hall from the Terry TV room. So I kind of found out about it later on, because sophomore year I had more classes in the Maroney Theater, which is right across the
Yeah.
hall from Terry TV. So from
So it's
there,
right there. Yeah,
yeah,
it's right
that's
there
when I
in
found
your
it. I was like, yeah,
face.
exactly, it's literally right there. But I didn't know what it was at first because they always kept the doors closed, and
Yeah.
when the doors are closed, you don't know what it is. So I kind of found out later on, and I didn't join Terry TV right away first either. We can get that into later if you want, but it was I didn't join to junior year basically, but my second semester of freshman year when I joined SFC Radio, and that's how I got into it.
So when you switched over to communications, what was the mindset? What was like the goal? What was like I'm gonna get my degree and do what?
At first, I was open to anything. I didn't really have anything set. I just
Just
wanted to
anything
try.
communications?
Yeah, I wanted to see because I know it was my freshman year, so I kind of wanted to like test test out everything first before I first declare what I wanted to do. So that's why I joined SFC Radio. I didn't know any other clubs at the time, like I said, and um, I kind of loved doing radio first. That was the first club I joined. I loved it. I did one show my freshman year. It
What
was
was the show? Because this is the question. What was the first show you did?
it was with me and Matty P, Matt Panico. We did a sports show called Sports Talk. Me and him did a show, like did a few episodes that semester. Sophomore year, we didn't pick it up again because he said he was really, really busy. So we didn't do it that year. And then at the time, I didn't really know many people, that many people in the school. So I
Yeah.
didn't know who to do it with. So sophomore year, I didn't do any show. I was out of the club for that year. And then I picked it back up junior year.
Okay.
Was when
Okay.
we did. That's when because my first semester junior year is when I took Professor Gregory's class, where I kind of had to do a show for his class, and then that's when me and you did the ringside that year.
Yes,
So that's
sir.
when I started getting more involved in that way.
The ringside. So wait. So you joined second semester of freshman year. When did you join Terry TV?
Junior year,
What made
because
you join Terry TV?
because
Just because?
I took the basic TV class,
Okay.
and that's when I actually learned more about the television station, and Kuberts. Then also in my radio class with Gregory that semester, I met David Schoen, who was
Another
the vice
goal.
president.
Another
Yeah,
goal.
exactly. Who was the vice president of Terra TV at the time. I didn't know him beforehand. That's when I met him first. So when we did the show together for his class, for Gregory's class. So me and him did the show, and I got to know him more. He told me what he did. He was Terry TV vice president. He showed me more of the station, and he asked me to help out one day. Started helping out, and then I did it more often. And then I started helping out for the rest of the last 2 years of college.
That's dope. That's dope. I feel like it's always cool to join a club in college,
Yeah,
especially if you're a commuter, because it gives you something to do rather than like the first year, like maybe my freshman year, it was always just go to school, get my work done. I'm going home. Like I'm not
same.
hanging
Me too.
out. I'm just going home. I hated the commuting.
Me too.
Like I said, I wanted to dorm. So my idea was like I was gonna be dorming. I was gonna be somewhere else. So like just going to a school that was 7 stops on the A train, I was like, yo, I'm just going home after this. I'll
Yeah,
catch y'all. And like every day, of my freshman year, I made sure I was out by 2 o'clock.
Yeah. Because
Just because I was like, I'm not with this.
my first 2 years, I had early classes, and I felt the same way. Like my first 2 years, I just wanted to go to class and leave. I didn't want to stay any longer.
Yeah.
And when it was really towards like my junior year, where all my classes started ending at like 5, because a lot of the communication classes ended around 5 o'clock. And so after because I kind of had to stay during that time anyway, so I was like, I'm gonna just stay for like another hour or two to help out with stuff. I did need help. So then senior year was when I really got busy. That's when I started staying late. I think the earliest I stayed one day was like 6 o'clock p.m. And because my second semester of senior year, this past semester, the spring semester of this year, I had 2 days off, and plus of the pandemic, I kind of had to stay home anyways. But my first semester, I stayed home practically like 6 o'clock. I left like 6 o'clock every day, basically.
Damn.
And I didn't have to, but I did anyways because of being busy.
Yeah, I feel you. I think just chilling in school. I think it wasn't until like sophomore, like second semester sophomore year to like junior year. That's when I started hanging around the school more because I was in SFC radio. I would just chill on the 7th floor. It was just
a
thing to do. It was like when you got nothing to do, it was the thing to do. Yeah.
That was the spot. And you're right. Like there was something to do, even though you're not like president or vice president. You still help me out anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's just assignments or just like hanging out with people that we know.
Yeah. Like that. And even if you just chill in that little section in the 7th floor and Terry TV is going on, they're gonna call you in just to do something.
Yeah.
Can you just stand and hold this camera real quick?
Just press the button. That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Press the button for us. Yeah.
So what year did you? So you took over your senior year, right?
After, my senior year. Yeah.
After we left.
Yeah.
You became president. How was that?
It was a great experience. Not gonna lie. I told Professor Gregory this too. It sucks that it was only 1 year because I wish I would have done it longer. And plus, like this 1 year was just a learning experience. It was because I was never a leader of anything beforehand.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is a great experience, but also a learning experience for me to lead a station, to plan everything out. A lot of mistakes. I'll be honest. I'll be honest with that part. But again, that's a learning experience.
Yeah, so. It happens, man. I'm telling you, I went from secretary to vice president, and then we were co-presidents, and then at a time
moved up, man. You moved up.
Yeah, and then at a time I was just president, and I'll be straight up, through those years, there was a lot of stuff that slipped through the holes, and I was like, this is just, and like Gregory says, just a learning experience.
Yeah.
And also something that I took out of it was like dealing with, it was something that I've never done before, like you said, being a leader, and like having to deal with people, like having to deal with different personalities and learning to deal with them. Like, let's say somebody's messing up or something, I have to learn how to approach them. I can't approach this person the same way I'm gonna approach this person.
Yeah.
Everybody's different.
There were some people who were scared to just do a show.
Yeah,
either just recording or just live. They're always scared, so I got to help them out and they'd be like, motivate them, be like, yo, it's okay. I'll be here if you want me to. Help you out the first time, and stuff like that. It's what I really remember.
I'll be straight up. I didn't start doing live shows till my last semester.
Yeah, me too.
Because I was like, I'm not doing it. We're gonna record it first.
Yeah.
Make sure it's good, and then we'll put it up. A lot
of people have the same mindset too. A lot of people who did a show, they had the same mindset. They wanted to record the first few episodes, then go live first to get comfortable with it.
Like I think all the sports shows I did, because that was my first show, the sports show with Danielle. First one the first couple we did, we pre-recorded it. We never did it live, and I would go back and listen to it if I needed to touch it up. And at first, it was always the slip of the fuck shit. And it was always you're not supposed to say that. So,
we're not supposed to say that.
By the time I was on junior year, second semester, it was live. If it slipped, it slipped. It was live. Sorry about that. You know what I mean? Like, you try your best not to, but especially that it's in your everyday conversation.
Yeah.
Especially when you're passionate about something like sports or wrestling. When we talk.
Yeah, when we talk, you have passionate opinions on certain things. That's what you go in on certain things, man.
Yo, I try.
Yeah, you try.
And then there was a show I did with Prof G that like we had to, show, right? We did the music show, and we had to get clean music.
Oh,
it was so tough that one week we were just like, whatever happens. Like he used to try and listen and try and mute it as it was happening, like
I
play
remember
with
those
the
times. Yeah,
play with it
remember
because
Vinyl-thon?
yeah.
Yeah, you know
Because
what I'm
like
talking about.
yo, you can't do nothing, and that was another thing. Vinyl-thon. I know you guys were planning that for this year,
Yeah,
nah,
it didn't
not
work
this year,
out.
last year,
Oh,
and then the
this year.
whole
It was this year.
yeah, yeah,
It was the last school year, but earlier this
last
year,
school year,
2020.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was the planning into that? Like, did you guys
Um,
have everything planned out already?
yeah. So before the pandemic hit and before everything started closing, including school, what we had it was different. We were gonna do it differently from what we did last year. Because last year we just did it in our station in the room and played music and
And
whatnot.
just chilled, yeah.
Yeah. What we wanted to do this year, Professor Gregory thought about this, since when last year's Vinyl-thon, he wanted to do this. He wanted us to go to a record studio, like a record shop, a vinyl shop,
Yeah, like a story,
and
yeah, yeah.
wanted to do Vinyl-thon there. So we had our music director at the time, Daniel Fisher. We had him search up like local vinyl shops nearby to the school, so we wouldn't go that far, and we were going to do it at one of those places and basically see if they have like a turntable, play the vinyls there, and just chill like we did last year. We're going to invite more people from the school to come through. We're going to have a certain amount of people do vinyl. We didn't have a limit. I think we'd had like 5 at first. We wanted to do it because we didn't know how many people wanted to do it or had vinyl. So like at first we had like, okay, let's do 5. Let's take 5 people. If more people want to do it, we can invite more, whatnot. And we had this vinyl shop pretty much sit down. We were gonna. It
Nice.
was during spring break where the school closed down and the pandemic really hit New York. So during that week, Professor Gregory and I wanted to go into the store and talk to the people themselves because at that time it was like 2 weeks prior to Vinyl-thon. So we
Okay.
wanted to go in person and talk to them and be like and set up the whole thing. But then the pandemic hit, everything started closing, so we kind of canceled that. Um, so we wanted to do that. But then also what we wanted to do, forgot to mention, is we wanted to do something the week prior to Vinyl-thon. We were gonna call it Vinyl-thon Eve. Um,
Okay.
I don't know how we came up
Okay.
with the name, but we it was basically just Vinyl-thon, but the week before,
in the
and
school.
no, in the same
Oh,
vinyl
in the
shop.
same vinyl shop.
Yeah,
Okay.
so kind of like promote Vinyl-thon.
Okay.
It's
Got
like
you. Got you. Got you.
pre Vinyl-thon to help promote it. So people like the first one, they'd be like, "Oh, come back next week," and we'll
Yeah,
give
we're
you the
gonna
same
be
thing.
here again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
So
Got you.
we were gonna do that, and of course, both of them got canceled. And we didn't have time to go into the actual store. I got in contact with the person who runs it like, through email, but we didn't have time to go into person. But uh, so when everything got canceled and everything, all the stores started closing, we were gonna do it virtually. Um, we wanted to do because Professor Gregory had a turntable. Lake, our vice president, who's not the president now, he had a turntable at his house. So we were gonna do both of them play music, have people request music, and then have them play the music through their turntables, and then we were gonna do it live through YouTube. But when
Oh,
we
okay.
did it, we did a few tests prior to it, but
That was
then
just tough.
yeah, it was tough because like we couldn't hear the music. It was lagging a lot,
Oh,
so it
okay.
didn't sound normal. It didn't sound clear
Yeah.
to really hear it. So we're like, no, we can't do this. So then, luckily, the people who run Vinyl-thon also came up with another date to celebrate Vinyl-thon, which was in June. So it was a 2 day. Vinyl-thon was 2 days this
Yeah.
year. Once in April, and they opened up another date in June. And then we were gonna do it in June. So what Professor Gregory did was he bought Lake and himself USB plugs to make it so you could plug it into the computer
Got you. Got you.
and the turntable so it could sound clear. We did a few tests there, and then still it didn't make a difference. It was a little bit better, but still wasn't clear.
Yeah.
So
It was
we
so
ended up
laggy.
canceling that. Yeah, so we canceled that. We didn't do Vinyl this year.
Yeah.
We ended up not doing it. So yeah, that was the plan.
No, I feel because it's always tough, especially like with all this pandemic stuff. But even just planning an event, like I learned that doing SFC radio too. Like it's tough getting everybody on the same fucking page
Yeah,
and trying to make sure everything happens. Like we used to have so many ideas, but like it would just never work out.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we always did the bake sales and stuff, but like it didn't work out. We finally did the listening party that finally ended up working. We did the Vinyl-thon, which that also we were like uh hitting up places trying to figure out. Also, like you guys did, like record shops. I went to a couple of them and were like, "Yo, let me just talk to the manager." Like, I just because
Yeah,
nobody was answering emails. I was like, I would just pull up on them and be like, "Yo, I need to talk to somebody. Like, we're trying to
yeah.
do an event," or either that, or they would answer back like, "Oh, we already have something planned for Vinyl Thon because Vinyl Thon uh
Also, record
was
store day.
it was
Yeah,
yeah, it was the same day
that
as
was also
Record
the
Store
problem
Day.
too, because that's why we also did. That's also why we wanted to do the Vinyl Eve, so we do it the week before,
Yeah.
and then we were gonna do something. We were trying to we wanted to convince them to try to let us do it that one day too on Vinyl, even though they weren't allowing us to do it because of record store day.
Yeah.
But like I said, we didn't get a chance to do that at all. So
Yeah. Like I think what happened with us was we started looking too late. Like it was already like I want to say late January, early February, so people already had their like if you own a record shop, you're gonna have something for Record Store Day.
yeah,
That's in 2 months. Like you're gonna have something planned. So I think we just waited too long and was like we didn't think of the idea till late, and then like till we came back from the second semester. Like I think the
or
first time I hit somebody up, I had a phone call with them the day after the Super Bowl.
uh,
So it was like
early February.
already,
Yeah,
yeah, it was already late. So that's why we ended up doing it in in the station, but it worked out. It was dope. It sucks that it couldn't
yeah, yeah.
happen this past year.
I know. We
Hopefully it happens next year again
yeah,
in the school or in a record shop.
somewhere.
If
Yeah,
everything's open, I would definitely be there
me too. Me too. I'll definitely be there.
showing support.
Exactly. One thing we
So
did do was College Radio Day for the first time back last October, a year ago, for the school.
okay, okay, yeah, we missed that. We
Oh,
missed
we
that day.
did.
Every time we would miss that day and be like, oh shit, it's college radio day. Oh,
Yeah.
all right, let's just make a post or something.
Yeah.
Um, so what were there any up and downs while running the station?
Some events that we had didn't go as planned, meaning that so there was some miscommunication. The SACCOR leader Zoe Felix, shout out to Zoe Felix, by the way, she was amazing at her job at there. She helped us out a lot. She was really close with us, so she helped us out with many things. But there were some things that we wanted to do that some of them was my fault because there was the bake sale that we wanted to do the first semester. Um, I kind of waited till like the last minute to schedule it. So
Okay,
when I got it, I had a date. We had a date in mind that we wanted to do. It got pushed back a week because someone already had booked the calf for an event of theirs, so we couldn't do it that day. And then we decided to do it the week after, but apparently they were giving out cap and gowns that week during that in
okay,
that day, so we couldn't use that main cafeteria area. So we had to go towards the back of the calf where people exit the the area where you get food, that whatever
yeah,
calf. Yeah,
yeah,
we
that's
had to do
tough.
it. We had to do it near there, so no one really saw us. The only people who
Yeah,
saw us are the people who were sitting there. So what we decided to come up with a plan to like kind of get people to notice us, even though we were back there. So we had a Tim Cecere play his guitar. So maybe people hear that and come back there and see us.
yeah.
If someone hears a guitar, people are gonna obviously want to come
Did
through and be like, "Well,
did
who's
it
playing
work
that?"
somewhat?
Kind of, yeah. We still got a decent amount of money, and people bought stuff, a lot of stuff, so it worked out well.
That's
Uh,
good.
yeah, and then that was kind of my fault because like I said, I kind of waited last minute to book it that day, so I was
It
like,
happens,
do whatever.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it happens. You like you said, it's a learning experience, and then you're like,
yeah,
oh, next time I gotta plan this ahead of time.
yeah. So then
'Cause
there was another event that we wanted to do the beginning of the spring semester, the kind of what we did last year with the Valentine's Day thing.
okay,
We wanted a lake and air because we got this past school year we got like a new device that's like it's like a portable mixer. So we
oh,
were gonna
nice.
it was easier for us to we can literally do any show anywhere. That's the thing. So we wanted to do something similar to what we did last year. We had Lake and Eric do their rock show, play like love related songs, rock music.
Yeah,
Um, and then we wanted to go around interviewing people. So we could record it, put it on a YouTube page, whatever, or put the audio on our station. Um, uh, so what we wanted to do, because the thing was, we didn't do it at all because when I spoke to Zoe, the SACCOR leader, she told me that there was an event already going on in the CAF. So I couldn't do it. I actually went earlier, like in the semester, to avoid having some other person or other club booking events there. So I went to her. I told her, like, hey, can we do? Because it was um, Valentine's Day was on a Friday this year, and I didn't have class on Fridays. this past semester. So I was like, let me just do it on a Thursday during activity period. So we have time to do it. I'll be there. Um, so she told me that there was the Valentine's Day auction. Remember the auction that used
Oh
to
yeah,
be?
yeah.
That was taking place during the calf. So I was like, I can't do it. We can't do it then. So we didn't do it. But and as time went on, I went to the calf during that time, to see the auction, but the auction never happened. So I'm like, what? You told me
They
the
never had
auction.
it.
No, and not that I remember, because I remember I went after it ended. So maybe they had just packed it up, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah, but
There,
still,
there was
they have a big setup for that.
exactly. So I would have at least seen them taking it down,
Yeah.
the stage and all that. So I didn't see anything. So I'm like, did it happen? I asked her. I texted Zoe. I was like, did it happen? She goes, oh, I don't know. I wasn't there. So I'm like,
It was like I don't know.
I don't know exactly. So
I
I'm
don't
like,
know. They had it booked. I don't know if it
yeah,
happened or not.
yeah. So I'm like, we could have possibly had the Valentine's Day event there, but it didn't happen. So it's probably like miscommunication or whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm not blaming anybody, but it was just like
Yeah.
it could have happened, but it didn't.
Yeah. Again, shit like that just happens. That's
Yeah,
just, and also like when you're the one that's planning stuff, and it gets you even more angry because you're the one that's like,
I wasn't mad at it. I was like kind of like, come on, you could have at least told
yeah,
me, Like, I let it slide. I was like, you know what, it's a mistake. I'm not blaming anybody for it.
yeah.
Yeah, but just
Um,
heads up a little bit, like like, could have had like something planned
Facts,
elsewhere.
just run down there real quick, be like, yo, it's not happening. Be like, all right, we'll be right there.
Yeah. So
Like,
that's what's gonna happen.
do you have a favorite memory and a worst memory of SFC radio or just college altogether?
Ooh. So in terms of SFC radio, I have two memories. The first one was CBI. That was a great memory. CBI is College Broadcasters Incorporated. It was a conference that actually takes place around. I think it's going on right now virtually.
Is it?
It's
Yeah,
usually
because it's usually yeah,
it was the end of October,
yeah.
and we went last. It's a conference for college radio stations and television stations. College students and professors go every year to. It takes place in different cities and states every year. This year was supposed to be in Baltimore, but because of the pandemic, they had to make it virtual. Last year when we went, it was in St. Louis, Missouri,
That's
and
dope.
myself, David Schoen, the vice president of that time of Terror TV, and then Professor Gregory and Professor Gewurtz went. All of us four
Cool.
went, and then it was my first time going, so I didn't, because David had went with you the year before, so he had
Yeah,
experience in going. It was my first time going, and it was really cool because we got to present something. We met a whole bunch of people. I got to explore the city of St. Louis, so it was a fun time and great experience still, because I've never been to St. Louis before, first time going there, so I got to explore the city, and
yeah.
it was pretty fun. Went to a hockey game. Um,
That's
we
sick.
had we went to a barbecue place that was really really good. And went to a museum because Gregory wanted to go, and he went to like a bar that night after a
What's
game.
up, Prof G?
Prof PG, yeah, DJ Prof PG, I had to call him that. So that was a great time. Another memory was, as I mentioned before, college radio day. The first time planning, and I think it went really well. What we did that day was we had, Elton Velasco.
Yeah.
We had him perform because at that time he had released two singles, so we had him perform both of those songs live in the calf in front
Oh,
of his
that's
friends
dope.
and other people.
That's sick.
And then that was I'll get to it in a little bit, but like after we did that, we had Lake and Eric do an episode of their rock show. They were upstairs in the studio. I plugged a aux cord to my phone, and we played it live to there. I was just standing there and played it
Okay.
live. People were enjoying it. I loved it because after Elton performed, he was telling me privately, I was like, oh, thank you for like giving me. He was thanking me for giving the opportunity to do that because that was his first time performing it live. And people were coming up to him saying like, "Oh, you did a great job." And then when Lake and I were doing their show, a lot of people were trying to request music, but they weren't requesting music. They were just playing the songs they had planned, and
Okay.
people were enjoying it. People were telling us like, "Yo, I should do this again." We were getting a whole bunch of positive feedback from it, and it
That's
felt really
sick.
good. It felt really good from it. And then the funny thing too, later on that semester, Elton was talking to me. He was like, "Yo, ever since your event that I performed at, tons of other clubs are trying to get him to perform live at
They
their
try to
events."
book him, man. They
Yeah,
try to
they were
book
like
him.
exactly. So I was like, you're welcome." He was thanking me a whole bunch of times. I was like, no problem, man. Yeah, stuff like that. So that was a really great event. That was one of the those are the two memories that stand out the most. There are a whole bunch of other ones, but
Those are like
those
the
are
two
yeah,
defining
two,
ones that you remember.
yeah,
Like
they're
that
gonna stand
often,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Elton's the man. I tried. He was actually the reason I came up with the idea of the listening party
Oh, really?
because I went to high school with him. That's my boy. So like he was doing his music thing. And I was like, yo, let me know when you're gonna release music. Excuse me. So we could do a listening party. Didn't work out. We ended up getting other people, but he was like the main idea behind that.
Thank God we got him though, because like at that time, a lot of people were listening to his music, so like might as well just have him perform it live in front of people. So I was like, bet. And then he wanted to do it. He ended up playing the guitar, the two. He had over some instruments with him, and then he started playing them too. It was really cool. It was really fun. Like a lot of people were enjoying it. And I felt really proud of that. So I was like, bet.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So do you have a worst memory?
Ooh, of SFC radio or in college in general?
Anything.
Anything? Oh, worst memory.
If you want, you can stick to SFC radio or Terrier TV.
Okay, I don't want to like put people's name out there, so I'm just gonna keep it like private, the name private. But I had a professor my senior year, for a class that really grinded my gears. I was like, dude, he was annoying me like crazy.
Was it a communications class?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to get into it because I don't want to like people's names
No,
class
no,
name.
yeah.
But like, actually, like I don't know because he only taught one semester. So I don't know if I should say his name. I don't want to say the name now. I'll tell you later after this podcast is over.
Like he wasn't there when I was there?
It was no, because he was there was a professor who was on sabbatical, so there.
Okay, I know.
There's a significant other to.
I know. Yeah, okay.
So then, like he was like he took the class. He was a great guy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying he was a nice guy. Really, like I respected him. He was really nice. But he took the class way too serious. Like every time he did something within each project, he would literally break down every single thing that everyone did wrong. Like he would be like, "Oh, I don't like the way that that thing was in the video. Record it again." Like, why? I don't care. It's my project. I want that thing in there. Yeah. He would point out the little things in each clip of your project and just tell you what he doesn't like about it, and it would annoy me like crazy. It was just. Like I didn't relax. This is a project. We're all college students. We can't make this 110% perfect like you want it to be.
I don't have a staff behind me, man.
Exactly.
It's like it's me and a camera.
Exactly. And he wanted us to like. He thought we were like professional filmmakers. Like he wanted us to work with want every single thing to be perfect. And I'm like, what? We're learning this stuff. You're supposed to be helping us out.
Yeah.
Not supposed to be like grading us on like if we're not like. Grammy Award winning filmmaker, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, we're not going to Grammy off of this stuff, whatever, or Emmys. I don't know what word that is, but he had really high expectations for us, and it was really, really annoying. So like you guys, anybody else who had that class with me, they would say the same exact thing. Like I love the guy; he was great, he was a nice guy, but he just took the class way too serious than what we had planned of it. So it was like it stressed me out a lot. It was like really annoying, but. Every time I think about it, I was like, "Damn, why would I take that class, man?"
No, yeah, there's always that one professor that you look back at and you're like, "Why did I even take that class? I should have just took it earlier. I should not have taken it at all."
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. I needed to take it, so I had to take it anyways. But
yeah,
it was.
What did you end up doing for your senior comprehension?
So I wanted to do a podcast. Me and Chris Moreno.
Okay.
We wanted to do like a basketball podcast because he wanted to do it.
Okay.
So he always wanted to do it. So like he hit me up one day. I was like, "Yo, can I do a podcast for SSC Radio? I'll be the host. You can be my co-host, whatever." So I was like, "Yeah, bet I'll do it." So I had Wirtz as my professor for senior comp. And I asked him, like, can I do this podcast? Can I be the co-host? And Chris going to be the host. He goes, no, you got to be the host of it. So I'm like, I can't tell Chris not to be the host because it's his show. Yeah. So I had that whole thing planned for my senior comp. And then I kind of had to change it. So because Gewurz didn't let me be the co-host of it. So I just ended up, because I didn't know what to do. So like, should I do like a website? Should I do a film? But like, I just ended up doing a magazine. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stick with it. Yeah, I'll just stick with that.
Yeah, I feel you. What did you do it about? Like just
basketball.
Okay.
So I just because I didn't. I had that whole thing planned out, the podcast with Chris, and then the last minute I had to change it. So I didn't have enough time to think of it because it's only one semester, and you
Yeah.
had only a few months to plan everything out. So I just ended up doing the magazine, and I'm getting it done. Got an A in the class, so I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
facts. Did you
Got
guys
an
end
A.
up doing the podcast or not?
Yeah, we did it anyways. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think one or two episodes are on the SoundCloud and YouTube page of SSC Radio, called
Oh, okay,
NBA
okay.
NBA The Block.
I gotta go check that out.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah,
go check that out.
yeah,
So now you're done college.
yeah,
You're done. You're chilling now.
yeah,
Now, and you were part of the pandemic graduating class.
yeah.
That's a bit of an honor, right? It's a different
It's
kind
different.
of
Yeah, it's
feel.
not a good feeling, but it's definitely a feeling.
I feel you, but you gotta be happy that at least you're done with it. You got your
Yeah,
degree.
yeah.
You ever think about?
Bad timing though. But I'm done. That's all
Yeah,
that matters to me.
it is what it is. Life
Yeah,
happens.
yeah.
Do you ever think about going back for your masters?
Ooh, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know when or where. Right now, there's a school that I'm trying to apply to for next fall, 2021, but I'm still working on the application. Um, but as of right now, what I'm just focusing on our podcast that we do with the Ring
Okay.
Fanatics. That I want to do that no matter what if the pandemic hit or not.
Yeah.
That's something that I want to do since we did the Ringside podcast. I wanted to continue it after I graduated to get it started back up again.
Yeah, we took too long. We took a long break.
Yeah,
Maybe a little too long break,
yeah.
but
But
it's
I know
happening
that.
now, man.
Yeah, and I definitely wanted to start that once I graduated college because you were busy after you graduated. I was busy during
Yeah.
my senior year, so that we couldn't do it. So I was like, you know what? When I graduate, I'll have more time. So I was like, you know what? Just get it done, start it up. And then I had issues with my laptop. My camera didn't work for a long time, so I had to get that working. I had to save up money to get it fixed from Apple.
Oh,
And
okay.
then, yeah, and then I had to come up with a new name because I didn't like the Ringside. The Ringside wasn't vibing for me anymore. I was like,
It
yeah, I
was
gotta
cool
change
for
the
the
name.
time. It was cool
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
time.
it was cool for the time. And then I was like, you know what? Let me change it up a little bit. And then
Yeah.
for some reason, it took me so long to figure out a name for that. And then one day it just clicked to me. I was like, oh, the Ring Fanatics. It's catchy. And it
Yeah,
has
it's
a ring to
fire.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And then I had somebody make me a logo for it. Trying to change it up maybe a little bit. I don't know. I like it, but it's like I want to see other options for it too. So I'm trying to change the logo and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing as of right now. The job situation is not looking good because a lot of places aren't hiring.
Right now
like
it's
that.
tough.
Now it's tough, man. It's tough.
Yeah.
Applying like 24/7, man. It's hard.
Do you have like you say you might go for your masters? Is there a plan to use the masters for anything specific?
Maybe
just to have in your back pocket that's like, yo, I got the experience.
I want to use my master's for something. It's a journalism school, so with the podcast that we're doing, maybe I want to do something with podcasting in the future, radio, maybe like a sideline reporter. I don't know,
analyst type thing.
Yeah, because I don't know. Places look for that. I think they might just look for the I don't know. I'm trying to do it so I can get it done with, and then hopefully have it if places need it.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Because the thing is too, what I like about that podcast now, people are looking at it, people are listening, and people are loving it. You have your boy who loves it. And then he has his own company.
It's big. People looking at it, man.
Yeah, I know.
People, the right people too.
Exactly.
The right people too.
So I love the way it's going with that. Hopefully he can help us out with that.
Nah, facts.
Yeah,
it'll happen. It'll happen.
Yeah.
They'll find out about it later, but it'll happen.
Exactly. He knows people. We know people. He knows.
So right now, there's no like plan, like, yo, because there's some people that graduate college and they're like, yo, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and sometimes it backfires because they put themselves at the high expectations, and then even though they end up doing good for themselves, they don't look at it as an achievement because they didn't reach that status. So even if they're like so close to it but didn't reach it, they look at it as a failure. Do you have like high expectations for yourself, or is it just like going with the flow?
I think but the podcast, I want to make this grow. I want to end up being like this actually a thing where we get paid for it or something like that. I want to make this grow. As of right now, I think I might be just going with the flow with it. I'm not gonna be the type of person that's like, oh, this is gonna be the best thing in the world. It's gonna be up there. I wanted to, yeah, but like
Yeah,
right now I'm just taking it slow by slowly. We only have 105 followers on Instagram.
that's fire.
Hopefully,
That's
yeah,
fire.
we're almost 2 months. Only up to 105 followers.
Yeah.
Um, we have a YouTube page, 12 subscribers. I'm not the best, but hopefully it's
It'll grow, man.
yeah, it'll grow. It'll
Well,
get
what we
there.
up to? Episode 8.
Exactly. We only have eight
Yeah,
episodes.
yeah,
It's not, I'm not expecting it to be like the best thing in the world right now. We still have time to grind, time to grow, and stuff like that.
exactly,
A lot of things coming our way too. So it's like we're gonna get there eventually. We're gonna get there eventually.
exactly.
It's all about patience and time and stuff like that.
Yo, that's a fact.
Patience
Patience,
is
yo,
key, man.
yo, that's a
Yeah,
fact.
yeah, it's bad.
Big. I only ask that because sometimes, like I said, some people go into the mindset like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then even though they end up doing good, like when I graduated, I was one that was just like, we'll see what happens,
Yeah,
because I was like I was one that I got the degree just to get the degree. It wasn't until I got into like my plan was, yo, I'm gonna be a DJ on the radio, so I'm gonna go for communications just to have as my
because
background.
for me, when I joined SFC Radio, that was like I felt like I wanted to do this more often in the future. Definitely podcasting and radio is my thing. So
Yeah,
like I feel like if I that's why I continue this podcast. So like hopefully I continue doing this, SFC radio kind of pushed me to doing that. That's what I liked about it too. So
definitely.
it's
Yeah, because even with me too, like I didn't like talking on the mic.
yeah, me neither. I
My
wasn't the thing
plan,
either.
yeah, my plan was, yo, I'm gonna help you build this, and I'm gonna DJ on it. I'm gonna just play music. And then it wasn't until I found out I was trash at DJing that I was like, yo,
No, no man,
maybe
don't say that.
I was like, maybe I could try talking, but like I didn't like talking in front of people.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then that's what helped me. It was radio. You're not in front of anybody. You're in front
yeah,
of your
yeah,
co-host, and that's it. And if you're
yeah,
doing a show by yourself, you're just by yourself. You
yeah.
might look crazy talking to yourself in a room, but you gotta get the job done. And
That's why for when we do our Ring Fanatics podcast, I record them all so like people can see us.
yeah,
It's like even though we're not live and talk to them in person, they're still seeing us and listening to us at the same
yeah,
time.
exactly.
So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, but kind of different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I hate talking in front of people. I hated speech classes. I hated.
Ooh, I was so nervous. I was so nervous in the class.
Oh my
I think going back to your previous question, I think that class was my worst memory in college. The one of that was up there.
Yo, cause speech was like, oh. And the only one that I really like did good in was like the persuasive speech.
Yeah, because that's
They
like
were
your opinion. So
yeah,
like,
he was like, you gotta persuade me about something. So this thing was wrestling. I was like,
oh, I should have done that.
Mine was wrestling's not fake, it's scripted. And then I showed clips of ECW.
Oh, that's
and he was loving it though. He was loving
who'd you have?
it. Rothacker.
Oh no, I didn't have him.
Rothacker was dope. He even told the people like he was assigning you a date. This is the only reason I passed too, except for the persuasive speech because that was like the final. But he would tell you, yo, you're gonna present this day. Like I had Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He would be like, Joel, you're presenting Wednesday. You do not need to come in Monday or Friday.
Oh, that's dope. That's
so
lucky,
you're only presenting in front of the people
that you
are presenting that day, and it was only an hour class, so it's only 2 or 3 people in that class. And
that was dope. My professor had made us come in every day. Do you remember Caldwell? G.R. Caldwell? I don't remember him. I had him for speech and mass comm. He was a communication.
How was that?
Professor. He was a great professor. I loved him. That's why I took him again for mass comm. But he was a great professor. I learned a lot from his 2 classes, and he was chill. He wasn't like a serious guy. He was chill. So like he was. I think that's why I passed too, because he was a chill professor, great guy.
I think that's what it is. You gotta be chill when to talk in front of you.
Exactly.
Because even
he made it comfortable. There was a lot of kids in that class, but he made it comfortable. I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah.
He was cool about everything.
That was like that one time that Ariana came to me and she was like, yo, Romelo's not here today. Can you MC? I forgot what event was. I was what?
I was there too. I remember I was with you the whole time.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I don't know. She was like, come on, we need somebody. I was like, all right, whatever.
I didn't MC, but like I kind of like hosted college video day. I was like talking like, this is Elton whatever, and here's the rock show whatever. So that was like my only MC experience. I was gonna do some more, but the pandemic kind of canceled that. I was gonna MC Vinyl Thon and be like, yo, this is this song, whatever was playing it. stuff like that. But I don't. That's the only experience I have emceeing was college radio day.
I feel you. So now doing the podcast, might go to journalism school. Maybe we'll see some journalism from you in the future.
Maybe, hopefully.
Yo, because that's I feel like that's one of the jobs, because like there was a time I was like, I'm gonna be a writer. I made like a website and everything, and there's like 4 things up there, and then I left it alone because I said, wow, this is not happening. But I feel like that's one of those careers that you really have to make a lane for yourself. Like you really just gotta start doing it, and then like hope somebody's like, oh wow, this kid writes nice. Oh, we got a podcast too, like stuff like that.
I think it's like you said, mainly experience. I think if people look at the podcast, be like, oh, this kid's cool. Maybe that's hiring or something. Maybe journalism school. Maybe like they'll pay for the school or something. Maybe that's like something on a later date. Maybe I don't have to do that right now.
Exactly.
But like, I just hope like for experience, this I want this to grow. I want this to become a thing too. And then eventually people pick it up eventually. If companies look at it, that would be great. We talk about it all the time on the podcast. So we should be writers for them. Like,
Yo, you never know, man.
You never know. Like, they could see an episode and be like, oh, these kids are cool. Let's bring them in for something. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, man. Yo, thank you for being on the Street Sheet. I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me, man.
Telling your story about just your college life and your life in general.
Yeah.
Leading the SFC radio station, doing your own show, joining Terry TV, covered a lot in this episode.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate you coming on here.
Yo, so tell me, I'll give you a few seconds. Just tell everybody where they can find you, man.
You can find me at Nick Arias _ on Instagram and Twitter. I'm on Facebook, but I don't use it that much because search Nick Arias. You can find a podcast at the Ring Fanatics on Instagram and Twitter. And on YouTube, it's the Ring Fanatics podcast. So go subscribe there. And we're on Spotify too.
Hey, bang. Yo, thank you again for being on, guys.
Thank you for having me, man.
This was another episode of the Street Sheet Podcast. Go follow us on Instagram, Street Sheet Pod. Go follow us on YouTube, the Street Sheet Podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor, Apple, wherever you find podcasts, we're on it. Thank you again, Nick, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.